After a horrible choke, the Warriors traveled to Brooklyn on the second night of a back-to-back. With the superstars playing heavy minutes the night before, Golden State leaned on the return of DeAnthony, Melton, and Trayce Jackson-Davis to provide a much-needed spark off the bench. From timely shot-making to finishing to non-stop defensive effort within the team's game plan, I wanted to focus on how the duo helped flip this game. So let's get to it. DeAnthony Melton has struggled this year returning from an ACL injury, but it is only a matter of time before I believe he returns to form. He provides the Warriors with another ball handler with playoff experience and a team defender who can play point of attack or off ball. The Warriors changed up the defensive coverage against Brooklyn's inexperienced ball handlers by trapping the high pick and roll. Here the Warriors have Pods and Trayce Jackson-Davis trap Brooklyn's rookie DeAnthony, and with Claxton rolling, the weak side Warriors zone up. Melton is responsible for the first pass, but because of the highly effective trap, DeAnthony has his back turned and is pressured to throw a no-look pass. Melton reads the passing lane and swipes it for the steal, leading to an open fast break and bucket. The Warriors are in desperate need of more of these easy points. With the Nets sprinting out to a quick lead, Steve Kerr decided to throw a full-court press to shave seconds off the shot clock. After the initial switch, Melton decides to come double the other Nets rookie draft pick in Trayce. This pressures the rookie into picking up his dribble, where again the rest of the Warriors have to zone up from the weak side. Wolf comes from the weak side corner to flash in the middle, and now there's a 2-on-1 advantage in the paint. If you're going to have your guards trap and get beat, you better hope there's a legitimate big man protecting the paint. This is where Trayce Jackson-Davis can come in to be that guy. TJD can play both the ball and dissuade the pass, which hesitates Wolf just enough. Then he goes back to the ball and gets a clean block. That was an extremely impressive defensive possession here, saving 2 points. Jackson-Davis did have a solid rookie year, but had fallen out of the rotation the last year or so due to his offensive limitations and slightly smaller size. Despite that, I've always believed he can provide above-average rim protection, which the Warriors sorely lack. On this Cam Thomas-Wolf pick and roll, the Warriors again trapped us high, letting Jimmy surprise Thomas at the level of the screen and almost forcing the steal. Now with the shot clock winding down, Thomas has to play Butler off the dribble. Even though he does have a step here, easy rotation by TJD as the weak side low man, and with Guy Santos sliding down to prevent the lob or dump off pass, we all can predict Cam Thomas is not going to pass these. TJD meets him at the top and gets another huge block. Now let's show a play where Trayce anchors the defense without putting up a stat to show for it. Brooklyn's trying for a 2-for-1 here. Cam Thomas runs a chase action first, in which he throws the ball to Sharp and immediately runs after for the handoff. This handoff also acts as a screen, but look at Jackson-Davis immediately playing drop coverage, then picking up the ball handler while waiting for the on-ball defender Melton to fully recover. With Butler leaving a non-shooter to help tag the roll man and knowing Thomas has a reputation of not being a willing passer, the Warriors fully blow this first action up. Now Jimmy can successfully close out and slide his feet to prevent dribble penetration, and forcing a non-shot creating Wolf to try and back him down. Then he spins at the last second and thinks he has an easy layup, but look who's there. Trayce comes over as a low man to not only contest into a miss, but also gets a hand to deflect a rebound and actually finishes the possession himself. Fantastic all-around defense here. Like I mentioned, Jackson-Davis is still pretty limited offensively, but what he continues to be best at is finishing at the rim with a dunk. Buddy rotates his ball up to GB2, who immediately swings it to Spencer at the top of the key. Payne and Spencer run a simple high pick and roll, but the Nets do a poor job here. Not only does GB2 do a great job rolling right away and giving the on-ball defender a small shove, if you're Michael Porter Jr. here playing drop coverage, you just cannot let this bounce pass through the short roll this easily. Now the Warriors have a 4-on-3 advantage on the backside. Claxton rotates some weak side low man, and with no rotation from the weak side help, Payne times his dump off pass perfectly for Jackson-Davis to flush at the rim. Here's another simple but aggressive defensive possession. Claxton tries to run a handoff with MPJ, but fakes it at the last second to try and drive. TJD does not bite on this and slides his feed well, pressuring him to pick up his dribble and kick it out. Now Clowney and Claxton try to run an empty side pick and roll, but this time Trayce jumps out super aggressively to again trap the non-ball handler. And with Pods also doubling, the Warriors end up forcing a loose ball and jump ball that eventually went Golden State's way. The Pat Spencer minutes at point guard were quiet but super effective. Trayce and Jimmy set a staggered screen for Spencer, and Brooklyn totally miscommunicates. Claxton thought they were switching, but Terrence Mann did not, probably because TJD is a big. With Jimmy setting a second screen and Clowney switching here as well, Mann gets fully lost and gives up on the play. Neither MPJ or DeAnthony has the awareness to see the wide open roll man, so Spencer just lobs it up to Trayce to finish with near zero resistance. This was my favorite defensive possession of the night. What makes the best defensive teams in the league, like the Thunder and the Spurs, is the fact that all 5 players help and rotate on a string and with near perfect timing. If the Warriors want to be in that tier, they no doubt have to play on the string as well. With Claxton having the ball, MPJ comes to set a backswing from Dioman. There was a possession or two earlier in the game that one Warrior switched and the other played straight up, leading to a wide open 3. Here, the Warriors maintain that they do not want to switch. However, this backswing gets Dioman momentarily wide open. Pajensky realizes this as the weak side low man and saves the play by switching, but this leaves his man in Clowney wide open in the corner. Look at DeAnthony Melton recognizing this as well and Peel switching at the last second to pick off the late weak side corner pass to get the steal. This is a fantastic example of the team all being on the same page and saving an open bucket. Again, I don't think Jackson Davis will ever get to that next level offensively where he can give you a drop step or shimmy shake into a hook shot, but TJD does still act as a solid roll threat, and that in itself can create additional advantages for the Warriors offense. Off a broken play where Jimmy had tried to jump pass to TJD and the shot clock winding down, Trayce simply hands it back off to Jimmy, who attacks his poor Nets defense. Claxton first peels off his man to close out on a non-shooter in Jimmy. And as Trayce sets a corner pick and roll, Butler's original man and Terrance's man is playing a drop coverage. The two Nets just switch their roles here because neither is used to playing the roll man or vice versa, and TJD simply abuses his poor coverage to be available for the bounce pass. Dioman tries to contest as the low man, but Trayce easily rises up and uses his athleticism to finish over the smaller defender. Pretty straightforward 2-man game. DeAnthony Melton is the perfect off guard who won't ever be a primary shot creator, but he has enough handles to create looks off the dribble. Butler attacks the middle of the floor on Claxton, but Dioman is in no man's land here, not fully committing to the double team and also losing his man in the weak side corner. Now Melton is able to attack the closeout and fools the defense by hitting the taller but slower switch defender Claxton with an in and out dribble and into the middle of the paint. With the shot clock winding down, I love this fadeaway 8-footer that avoids the defender and becomes a high quality look for Melton to knock down. Last but not least, let's show a fantastic display of Melton as a perimeter defender. MPJ sets an off-ball pick for man and the Warriors switch. Porter then tries to pop out for a dribble handoff with Claxton, but Golden State blows it up again with another simple switch. Now Claxton has to resort for a dribble handoff with the rookie Dioman, who actually was super hot this game. With Melton losing a couple steps and chasing from behind, observe his ability to cover ground fast enough to not only make up the distance, but contest and block the shot from the side without fouling. Jimmy grabs a loose ball and tosses it forward to Melton, who waits for the flyby and locks the game up with the dagger defense to offense play. There you guys have it. On the second night of a back-to-back, this one came down to energy and the bench doing its job. DeAnthony Melton looked more like himself. He was active defensively, making shots, controlling the pace, and building his rhythm back. When he plays within the flow and continues finding his groove, he gives the team something they've been missing as a secondary ball handler. Trayce Jackson Davis set the tone with defense, running the floor, and just playing all out. Those short spurts of production still matter, and you can feel his impact as a traditional big man. The second unit won their minutes and helped close a game the Warriors much needed. If Trayce keeps earning those minutes and Melton keeps finding his rhythm, this rotation starts to make a lot more sense. If you guys like this breakdown, like and subscribe to see more.